Good, happy Friday morning. It's Friday, June 3rd, 2022. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, information sought about vehicle spotted near Concord Trail on day couple disappeared. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Our main event tonight, we've seen multiple lines, draft passing, should be really exciting, so here we go. Oh, this is spectacular. Here in front of my Investigators want you to take a good look at these images. The Attorney General's office says they show what appears to be a dark green Toyota RAV4 with a model year between 2006 and 2012.
And importantly, was parked at the Marsh Loop Trailhead on Portsmouth Road in Concord on Monday, April 18th of 2022.
That's the same area where the bodies of Stephen and Wendy Reed were discovered just days later. Right now, officials say they have no reason to believe the SUV is connected to a suspect.
The import of the ask today is to specifically check another box in terms of who was out there that day and what they heard or saw or where they traveled that day.
In another effort to track down the SUV, detectives are searching a database of all similar vehicles and contacting their owners.
The attempt is just to identify who was in this vehicle and identify where they were and what they were doing that day as we continue to account for anyone who was in the area.
Concord police have received more than 200 tips about the double homicide. The chief says he remains optimistic it will be solved.
The community should be confident that we are making this the highest priority. We have a core group of investigators that are solely devoting all of their efforts on this particular case.
Now, just a few weeks ago, the Attorney General's office released a sketch of a person of interest in this case. Today, officials say they do not believe that that person of interest and this SUV are connected. However, they also say there are no new updates on who that person of interest may be. Reporting live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Boston Celtics have huge fourth beat Golden State Warriors in Game 1 of NBA Finals. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Our main event tonight, we've seen multiple lines, draft passing.
Jonathan, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable that the Celtics won this game. You think back to the third quarter, which has really been the Achilles heel for this team in this playoffs. It looked like the Warriors had them, but they are tenacious. They don't give up. They don't give in. The grit of this team is incredible, and frankly, it is championship worthy. Let's give you a live look on the floor here at the end of Game 1. The Celtics winning on Golden State's home court, something that, by the way, has not been done all postseason long. The Warriors losing on their home floor, and the Celtics doing it in dramatic fashion.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Wow, very cool indeed. Boston Celtics won Game 1. Awesome job, Boston Celtics. Police arrest man in Meredith in connection with shooting in Plymouth. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Our main event tonight, we've seen multiple lines, draft.
We begin with breaking news tonight. One man is now in custody in connection with a shooting in Plymouth that we first reported on last night. Investigators say 24-year-old Keegan O'Neill shot a 33-year-old man on Highland Terrace. Just under 24 hours later, authorities arrested O'Neill in Meredith. State police say the victim suffered life threatening injuries, but is in stable condition tonight. They say the investigation still very active, and anyone with any information should call state police.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Suspicious death in Windham under investigation. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Our main event tonight, you see multiple lines, draft passing.
It's a little weird to be this close to home.
West Shore Road has been blocked off all day while several agencies investigate what the AG's office describes as a suspicious death. Police got the call around 7:30 this morning from a construction crew about a body found by a porta potty near Woodview Road, right next to Canopy Lake. Cole Forens tells News 9 he was heading to school this morning when he saw all of the police tape.
It was the weirdest thing. We all thought it was construction, but ended up being a crime scene.
Kathy Suter has lived in the area for almost 30 years. She says this whole situation is unnerving.
You know, it's sad, actually. You know, say a prayer as you go by and say, let's hope that... I don't know what you can hope for. There's nothing you can hope for. You can't hope that it was someone you didn't know, because that's awful. Of course you don't hope that it's someone you know, so it's all awful.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire State Representative charged with DWI. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Our main event tonight, you see multiple lines.
A state representative is facing a DWI charge after being arrested last week. Representative Erica Leon, the vice chairwoman of the Health and Human Services Committee in the House, was arrested last Thursday in Derry. Police were dispatched after receiving reports of a gray Toyota driving erratically. Officers took Leon into custody. She was released on personal recognizance. The representative provided a statement to News 9 saying, quote, "I've retained attorney Ryan Russman, and I look forward to resolving this case with a positive outcome."
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Police say doctor was targeted in Tulsa hospital shooting. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
If you have psoriasis, it's time to see the possibilities with Taltz. Up to 90% of those with moderate...
We begin tonight with President Biden speaking to the nation moments ago after this new horror playing out inside that hospital. The president asking Congress to pass common sense laws to combat this epidemic of gun violence. Of course, the Buffalo supermarket, that Uvalde elementary school, and now a Tulsa hospital. Tonight, authorities say the gunman had purchased his AR-15 style rifle just hours before the rampage, killing 4 as he went through that hospital. Authorities say looking for a doctor who was among the killed. Take a look at this map tonight. In just the 8 days after the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, there have been more than 20 mass shootings, leaving 4 or more dead or injured, some 105 victims shot in those mass shootings in just 8 days. And in Tulsa overnight, first responders arriving within minutes of the first 911 call, entering the building floor to floor, room to room. 6 minutes later, they heard a shot. The gunman, Michael Lewis, had taken his own life. Police say the suspect was carrying a letter that made it clear he went there to kill a doctor he blamed for his pain and anyone else who got in his way. Dr. Preston Phillips was killed. He had performed back surgery on Michael Lewis. Others were killed in his rampage as well, including Dr. Stephanie Hewson, as well as Office Supervisor Amanda Glenn, and a patient as well, William Love. Tonight, the weapon bought just hours before that attack and the letter the gunman was carrying. ABC's John Quinones leading us off from Tulsa tonight.
Tonight, Tulsa police say the man who stormed this hospital complex and killed 4 people had a target. Dr. Preston Phillips, the surgeon who treated him.
He came in with the intent to kill Dr. Phillips and anyone who got in his way.
Authorities say Dr. Preston Phillips, an orthopedic surgeon at Tulsa's St. Francis Hospital, performed back surgery on Michael Lewis on May 19th. On May 24th, Lewis was released.
After release, Lewis called several times over several days, complaining of pain and wanted additional treatment.
Lewis's last call to the clinic coming just hours before he would allegedly open fire. At 2 p.m. the day of the shooting, the ATF says Lewis bought an AR-style semi-automatic rifle from a local gun store. Just days before, he also bought a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun. Both weapons purchased legally. At 4:52 p.m., hours after buying that gun, the first call to 911 from a patient seeing a doctor over video chat.
She was on a video chat with a doctor on the second floor. He told her to call the police. There had been a shooting.
One of the victims held the door for someone to allow them to escape out of the back door and was shot and killed.
They're running in.
Police from multiple agencies swarming and immediately entering the building. 6 minutes later, at 4:58 p.m., they hear a single gunshot.
We believe that was the final gunshot, with the suspect taking his own life.
Police finding that letter on Lewis explaining his intent to kill Dr. Phillips.
He blamed Dr. Phillips for the ongoing pain following the surgery.
They find the body of Dr. Phillips in an exam room. Nearby, Dr. Stephanie Hoosen and Supervisor Amanda Glenn. Also killed patient William Love.
They died while serving others. They died in the line of duty. To the family of Mr. Love, our hearts break for you.
President Biden addressing the nation tonight on guns.
How much more carnage are we willing to accept? How many more innocent American lives must be taken before we say enough? Enough.
John Quinones is with us from Tulsa tonight. And John, this shooting obviously comes after Uvalde, Texas, after the Buffalo supermarket. And each one of these shootings, including this Tulsa shooting with AR-15 style rifles, this time authorities say was purchased just hours before the attack.
That's right, David. On the very same day that he went inside the building behind me on the second floor and started firing. Having said that, the system here worked very well. In the words of the Tulsa police chief today, our training led us to take immediate action without hesitation. That's exactly what officers do. Well, by doing that, they no doubt saved countless lives. David?
John Quinones, who went straight to the scene for us. John, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.